Hey guys, and welcome back to day five. Um, so this is day five of working on our portfolio site. This is kind of what we've done so far. We've created some placeholders for our projects, a little bit of about me section. We've got a hero image, probably a little bit too big, probably can make it smaller. We've got obviously our header up here. So let's just check its responsiveness, make sure we're okay. So I think it looks better on the mobile site, to be honest with you. Great. Okay, so we've got project free and then our footer, which we haven't populated yet. What we're going to do today, we're going to add just some basic navigation. It's quite a small one-page kind of site, and it's solely just there to showcase what I'm working on. So we're not going to get too complicated with it. We're going to keep it really simple. What I'm thinking is we'll have an about, a projects, and a contact. Each one will obviously come down to the about, or the projects, or the footer section. Okay, and then maybe use the title Sean Learns to Code to like scroll back up to the top. So nothing too complicated. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back to our nav section here. And what we're going to do, we're going to create a new div. We're going to call it, we're going to give it a class name of, what should we call it? Navbar links. Let's do that. Okay. In the navbar, we're going to, as we discussed, we're going to have three links. href equals, and then because we're using IDs and we're only on the one page, we can kind of just do this, right? And just point each link to an ID. Okay. So about, okay, and then what we can do, it's all right. Yeah. Just copy and paste, and then change the different links, right? So copy and paste. So the second one is going to be our projects. We're just going to point to project one, okay? Because there's only 4 projects on the page at the moment. Okay, so we're going to point to the ID of project one. We'll give it the title of projects, and then the user can kind of go through as or when they wish. And our contact info, we're actually going to pop it in the footer. Okay, just social links and an email. Obviously, I won't put my proper email there, but yeah, so just like that, right? So quite simple. We've got some A tags pointing to different elements of the site, and then when we save it, all being well, we should be able to see them. They won't be styled or positioned yet, but yeah, if you can see, oh yeah, I put footer, not contact. We now have these up here, okay? So that's our start point. Let me change that to contact, not footer. So, contact. Okay, so great. So what we want to kind of do is we want to take these 3 links, we want to put them in the middle, and we want to separate them, so the space between them. That's what we're going to try next, okay? I'm sure a lot of you've kind of done this before. So we're going to use the class we've just declared in HTML of our links. And the first thing we're going to do is display flex. Okay. Obviously, flex can be quite a complicated thing. I'm not going to explain it all here. It's not the purpose of the YouTube. There are some great YouTube channels, CSS tricks, etc., that kind of tell you all this stuff and how and why it works. Definitely check them out. Okay, so then we're gonna look at justify content, and we're gonna give that a value of center. Okay, and then we're also going to align items and also give that the value of center. Okay, so let's have a look at how our navbar's performing. Okay, great. So we're now in the middle. That's exactly what we want. But we're still kind of together, right? So, but we're in the middle, so that's a good start. So what I'm going to do now, we've got Navlobis, display flex, etc., etc. We're now going to work on the links, especially. Okay, so navbar underscore links, and we're using a tags, so we'll specify that. So the first thing I want to do is give it some space, right? So let's color and give it some text decoration so we can see it better. White, and then we'll probably have them underlined. So decoration, underline. Okay. So again, let's save this, come back, and let's see how we're looking now. Okay, great, a bit better. Probably increase the font, I would reckon. But let's space them out first. Let's see how that goes. So I'm going to keep this quite simple. And very simply, I'm just going to use padding. So let's try 2rem. Let's try 2rem and see how that looks. It might work. We might have to adjust it. We'll see. Okay, so it looks a bit better. Obviously, it's expanded the header because we've had padding all kind of around. I'm not. Do I like that? Maybe I like that. I'm not sure actually. Let's have a look. Contact. Because we want to bring this down anyway, don't we? We do want to bring that down, so it's not so close. Okay, let's just try this. Let's see how we go. Text align center, color white. So now we're working with the header again. Okay, margin top, and we'll do 0.5. We'll just see how it looks. We can obviously delete it if it looks crap. So let's see how we go. Okay, so that's come down a bit, which is great. Let's see what we can do with font size. Let's see if the font size makes me feel any different. Okay, so padding. I mean, if not, we could just add padding left and right. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's just see what happens there. I mean, we are going to need some padding between the title and the links anyway. But we'll see. Okay, so we'll come back. I preferred it before actually. Maybe make the padding slightly less. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I preferred it before. Padding 2rem. Let's make it 1.5. Or maybe even 1 actually. Let's have a look. Okay. So let's come back and see how that. Okay, it feels a bit better. It does feel a bit better. Let's increase the font size a little. Let's say, and the reason I'm kind of using rem or we can use EM as well. Again, that's kind of a whole video. Is it keeps it quite dynamic, right? It's not saying this is exactly how big or small the fonts are or the spaces are. It will change depending on the size of the screen, which is kind of what we want in regards to responsiveness, which is why I'm kind of using EM rem. You can specify pixels if you want to. I'm just choosing not to here. So we've got padding. What font size? That's what we're doing. Font size, and what should we go for? Let's do 1.5. Let's see how it looks, and then we can sort of adjust as we go. So let's come back. Yeah, probably it's not too bad. It's probably a bit smaller. It's okay actually. It's quite big. You can't really. Okay, cool. Um, no, I want it a bit smaller, just a bit smaller than the title, so we can either increase the size of the title, which I don't really want to do, or we can decrease. Let's just try one. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so let's go up again 1.25, and let's see how that's going. Okay, okay, that feels a bit more natural. Okay, cool. Um, so we've got this basic header. So what I want to do now. So if you guys remember, we created this media query, right? So on a smaller screen size, we want this to be a bit different. Yeah. So let's come down. I mean, we could override this and just put in a hamburger menu. We could do that, but because the navigation's it's not so important, I don't think on this. If it was a multi-page site, it'd be really important, but it's not. Obviously, on a smaller screen, we'd probably want to reduce the font size. And I mean, let's have a look. Let's just reduce the font before we reduce the padding. So that's all normal. Let's have a look at this. Huh, that's no, I'm quite happy with that actually. Huh, that doesn't look too bad. Um, yeah. So okay. So that's the code. You know what? I'm not that unhappy with that. If I'm completely honest. Um, obviously, it's a one-page site. The user can just scroll, which, let's be honest, everyone's used to doing. Um, so I don't hate that, if I'm completely honest. So we're going to leave that for a moment. I might sleep on it and come back and completely hate it. But we'll see for now. So the last thing we want to kind of do is we kind of want to add some functionality to this navbar, right? So when the user's hovering, for example, we want it to do something. Yeah. Um, so what I'd be tempted to do is, I mean, do we want it? No, we'll keep it quite specific for now. Hey, hover. Okay. So what we're saying here is if the mouse or the cursor or whatever you want to call it is hovering, we want to do something. And what we're going to do, very simple. We're going to change text decoration from underlined to null. Okay. So let's come back and let's see. Yeah, there you go. Great. Okay. So I'm reasonably happy with that, if I'm honest. As I said, we don't really need a massive navigation because it's a really simple site. Yeah. Probably should reduce that image a little bit, maybe. I do like it though. Okay. So for today, this episode, we're gonna leave that there. We've got this nav. It's somewhat responsive, so we've got it on our desktop, got it on our mobile or tablet, and it does what we need to do. So for now, I'm reasonably happy with it. Um, next episode, we're going to look at the footer, populating that, just adding contacts and social links. It's going to be it's going to be quite a similar process to the header, really. We're going to get the social links lined up using justify content, display flex, and then it's going to be quite simple. We'll probably use maybe Font Awesome to get the social link images. But that's for the next episode. For now, I'm reasonably happy with that. So that could change, but we'll see. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you for episode 6, maybe later today, or definitely tomorrow, if not. So take care. I'll see you soon.